There's a moment in your life you want that shot. Saying I do at the altar is that shot. But after the first kiss, the first dance, cutting the cake, the third anniversary of your honeymoon, and 4 babies later, you'd expect your wedding album. Cheryl Connor tonight with a snapshot of a scam. Cheryl.
Jamie, it's a scam that crossed many states, and tomorrow the man apparently behind it all will be back in court, this time in Baltimore City. From brides to freelance photographers, Darian Small became known for a ripoff. Behind the shutter, there's a local photographer who was shut out of a deal that cost him $1,200 and wasted energy. Almost a year ago, Bert Pasquale took the advice of his fellow photogs and went to a seminar hosted by a man of many names.
Craig Small was used, a gentleman who had put together a photo workshop weekend at a new studio that he was opening up as a rental location for photographers.
Pasquale says he snapped this picture of the man whose real name is listed on court documents as Darian Craig Small. There's a website with his name, but nothing that touts good character. StopDarianSmall.com was launched by someone who was scammed, and the stories kept coming in. But Pasquale acted on his first impression.
There was studio lighting being used. There were dividers hung up to separate off different areas. There was an area for the makeup artist to work.
The warehouse off Route 1 in North Laurel looked legit, and so did the man running it.
Charming, charismatic, easy to talk to, personable, very engaging in stories about his photography and what he does and what he wants to do.
But the story started to fall apart days after Pasquale signed up to rent studio space for a year.
He said, if you want to sign up for a whole year, I'll give that to you for $100 a month. And so I wrote him a $1,200 check that night.
Then a sudden change. There was no activity at the warehouse, and Pasquale quickly realized he had been scammed. Some online checks with his real name show Small's history, and a look at online court records brings up fraudulent activity in more than 10 jurisdictions in Maryland alone. Pasquale was able to present his case to the Howard County State's attorney as fraud and have Small arrested. He snapped these pictures last April of him being handcuffed. Small bailed out and started to come around slowly.
He continued to stall, always had an excuse. He was out of town, he was on travel, he was getting a wheelchair fitted for his handicapped son.
Excuse after excuse until finally every penny was repaid before his trial. That case was dismissed, but since then Small was found guilty and served 7 days in jail for writing a bad check in Howard County. On the same day he was let out of jail, Baltimore City picked him up on theft charges. No one answered at the Ellicott City address listed for Small. According to StopDarianSmall.com, he runs to other cities or states when things get too hot. Pasquale hopes his day in court will keep him behind bars and away from new victims longer than ever before.
The house of cards can only be supported so long before it falls.
And Bert Pasquale says if he had to do it all over, he would have asked for references and typed Darian Small's name into an internet search. Small is scheduled to be arraigned on several charges, including theft, tomorrow morning at 9:30. Cheryl Connor, ABC 2 News.